Let's go. Derek, what's up, man? What's up? What's up? Welcome in. Right off the bat, ISB, what's up? Bobby Whirlwind, welcome in. Welcome in. How we doing? J Suv T or Suvi T, thank you so much for hopping in, y'all. Tap the screen, share out the live. It is going to be short and sweet today. Lexi, welcome in over on Twitch. Appreciate you hopping in. I appreciate y'all being here so much. Yeah, it's going to be short and sweet today. We're going to do probably 6 songs today. I've just got a ton of projects that I've got to get to. How many tracks do you get in on those one-on-one consultations? Roundabout number. What do you mean? Clarify really quick so I know what you mean. Chico, what's up? What's up? Let's go, Lexi. Congrats. That's amazing. Y'all, thank you so much for hopping in. We're going to get moving here in just a minute. Let me get this updated here too. Let's go. And if you would like to submit, go to my link tree. Click on Track Talk Submission. You'll see all the details there. Just read through everything. Follow all the steps. You'll be ready to go. If you're on the purple app, then you can hit ! Submit if you would like to send in your music. Skylar, I got on 13 seconds ago, so it's wide open. We're just getting things flowing here. It's going to be a very short live today, so it is going to be limited. So if you want to see the line, if you want to check the order, anything like that, head over to my link tree and click on see the line over there. Chad Hinge, welcome in. Jasper, what's up? Anon, welcome in. Like on your website, it's 100 other consults. How long are those? That's for an hour. So it's not the consultation is based on what you need, right? It's gonna be different for everybody. We did 2 consultations last week, and those were completely different from each other. Very, very different formats, very, very different reasonings why they were on. It's not just like hearing the song and listening. In fact, both of those consultations, we didn't listen to any music. It was strictly digging into some more structural details about how they were going to launch as an artist and stuff like that. So it really just depends. If you want to spend an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is, going through a bunch of tracks, long form, similar to how we do here, then you definitely can do that. But it really just depends on what would be. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it is a consultation on that basis of what do you need, what are you looking to get out of it. If you want to take an album and break it down and try to get some feedback on it, similar to the format that we have here, of course, we can easily do that. Or if you're looking to dig into some hyper specifics, I spent an hour with a client a couple weeks back where we were just helping them with Pro Tools. They needed some ways to improve on their process in Pro Tools and get used to it after they switched from another DAW. Really just depends. Whatever y'all are looking to do, whatever would be, of course, as usual, the most beneficial to y'all. That's what we want to help you tackle. Yeah, 100%. I mean, we can do it in a similar format where I use OBS and open up Pro Tools and kind of help you. I know you're on Ableton, but can I help you through some of the process stuff like that? 100%. Yeah, would be happy to. If you ever do want to dig into that, then just follow the form on the website and we'll get you going, man. 100%. Anytime. Sophia, welcome in. Drop or build up. Jasper, completely up to you. We have had it all the way across the board. We have had people who were independent artists who had a song pop off and they finished, they sent in a song that had, 250,000 streams and it was already released, polished, ready to go. And it was one of the reasons why they were able to get some traction. And I've literally had someone send in a voice memo of them humming at a booth in Starbucks to see if we couldn't build a chord progression and stuff like that around it. So it is just completely up to what would be the most beneficial for you. It can be released, unreleased, any level of quality, any genre, stuff like that. Completely up to you. And it's going to be short and sweet today, y'all. So please make sure, like we say in the form, please check the line. Please kind of understand where we're at today. It's going to be short and sweet. We're only going to do probably 6 songs. So we're going to move it at a pretty good pace. I've got just a ton of work that I've got to do. Let's see, updating. Give me 1 second to get this updated here too. Skylar, just make sure you follow all the steps. That way I get notified and I can get you up on the board. Lady T Photography, thank you so much for hopping in. Y'all tap the screen, share it the live with a couple people. We're just getting it flowing, so we're just going to get things moving here. Let me get some things updated over on this side as well so I can see TikTok on here. There we go. Let's see. Hopefully this starts coming through. Let's find the source here. 1 second, y'all. Blase, thank you so much for hopping in as well. I appreciate it. There we go. Now TikTok's coming in. There we go. Perfect. Appreciate you being here. Or is it Blaze? I can't see from here. My keyboard's getting in the way. Travis, thank you so much for hopping in. Appreciate you showing up here for a second. But y'all, let's tap the screen. Let's get the likes up to 2K. Let's get the shares up to 20, and then we'll kickstart the music. Appreciate y'all hopping in. I just know it's hard for me to get on here sometimes and wait. 100% get it. 100% get it. So if you wanted to book an hour or 2 hours with just me on the production side or both of us, obviously that's completely up to you. And you wanted to book something like that, we could tackle a chunk of songs, maybe like take it a couple weeks at a time or something like that and knock out 3 songs, break them down, get into some of the nuance of it. The nice thing is you can talk back. The nice thing is that we're not waiting on the chat. We're not waiting on any other peripheral things. You book a time, we show up, we get on Zoom, and we can really dig into those things without having to like wait on the back and forth and me just kind of talk to a wall while you just make notes or something like that. It's obviously it's a lot more conducive to productivity because we get to actually talk back and forth, which is fun. We've had obviously just lots of great consultations with a lot of artists in the community over the last months, and it's been very fun to connect on that level and actually be able to talk back and forth. So yeah, if anyone here ever wants to, like, what we do here are short form consultations, 20 to 30 minutes long per song, in the structure of this live, but this is basically just a teaser of stuff that we do longer form. And for some people, it's based around the song. Some of it's based more around Libby and marketing and branding, aesthetic, image, style, things like that. Some of it is understanding the nuances of production and music theory, or maybe even getting a little bit more into like working with the DAW and finishing up productions, kind of like what Derek's talking about here. But yeah, if y'all ever are looking for some more nuanced stuff like that and would like to book a longer one, of course you can. You can go to my link tree, click on the Obsidian Key website, and follow the steps there. And then thank you so much for the follow, Blaze. I appreciate you a lot. Y'all keep tapping the screen, share out the live with a couple people. It's going to be short and sweet today. So if you do want to get in, now would be the time. I'm not going to be on for very long. Probably just a handful of songs. I've just got a stack of productions that I've got to get to. I've got a stack of things I've got to finish up tonight. So I can't be on for too long, but wanted to try to get a couple songs in if we could. Cass, these are, this is a part of it. Typically Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we do music and branding consultations. My wife, Libby, is a long-time personal and editorial stylist. She's worked in cosmetology. She's worked in styling. She's worked in a bunch of different realms, kind of in that space. Jordan, welcome in. Good to see you, man. Anyways, and I've been a long-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. So I've worked as a professional audio engineer and producer for the last 13 or so years. Done music my whole life. I'm a classically trained pianist. And so the entire structure of this live is just offering a consultation and some tools to artists, musicians, and producers that could potentially benefit from a professional second set of eyes and ears on what they're doing creatively to help them polish their craft, get some good, positive feedback on what they're doing. This is not like a roast live. It's not a review. There's no trash or pass or ratings or polls or anything like that. Strictly just a long form consultation. We typically take 20 to 30 minutes per song. It's a really, really cool space. Thank you, Cass. I appreciate you so much for hopping in. Jordan, it's so good to see you. How are you feeling today? It's good to see you in the chat. Today's going to be short and sweet. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday is typically when we do the music and branding consultations with my wife, Libby. And then Tuesday and Thursdays, if I have time, I'll hop on just for a couple hours, knock out a couple songs, do a couple consultations on here, and kind of see what we have time for. Today, I maybe have time for like 5 or 6. I have 6 on the board right now over on Twitch and YouTube, but maybe have time for 5 or 6. If we're able to get to those. Yeah, it's an awesome space. We've been doing this format of the live for probably about 2.5 years at this point, on TikTok. Now we're on Twitch and YouTube, Twitch being probably our main platform where you can see my DAW, you can see the line, the order, the minimum, you can see the chats from all the different platforms and stuff like that. But it's a cool space. It's a really, really fun, positive community. Obviously professionally, we want to be excellent. We want to grow. We want to improve on everything what we're doing, but not the expense of tearing people down. That's never going to be the space that we're in. DLG, welcome in, man. It's good to see you, bro. It was fun to hear. I mean, I was quiet in bed with my phone speaker, but it was cool to hear your song the other day. Libby's in here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Dylan. Absolutely, yeah. Hop on over. Even if you stick around on TikTok, hop on over to Twitch. You can see the layout over there. You can tell once you get over there. You can see what's up, Slim. Yeah, it's gonna be short. It's gonna be short and sweet. You can see the full layout and kind of the reason why it's potentially a better platform. It's also better quality audio. It's uncompressed audio. Let's go. Yeah, but so yeah, Libby's working on some other stuff. And then like tonight she's gonna be somewhere else, and so I'm doing just a couple songs late live. I've got a ton of projects that I'm working on, so I'm trying to kind of balance all of that right now. But wanted to hop on for a few songs. Got you, Derek. Got you. I'm excited, man. And honestly, man, I would love to have the opportunity to sit down longer form too and hear a bit more about your vision for kind of where you're wanting to take those cinematic pieces and the production of them and stuff like that. I'm excited for you, man. All right, I got you up there, and then I'll just see. Oh, and I got your email in already too. You're ready to go, man. I appreciate you. Let's just get the let's get the likes up to 2K. 2K and 20 shares. We'll kick off the music. 2K, 20 shares. We'll kickstart the music. Got you in. Yeah, I mean, what could be beneficial for the sake of focus. This is just I guess my perspective early on in us talking about this just here on the live. It might be beneficial to compartmentalize our focus over time on like different consultations. If I ever get vocals right, like just as an example, like 1 month or however you want to do it, right? 1 month we focus on cinematics because the tools for cinematics is very different, and like scoring and stuff like that is very different than like trap beats and rap vocals, right? It's just different automation points, different ways of mixing and balancing that, different fillers you need, things like that, and even like the way that you create balance and width and openness is just a little bit different between different genres. All tools can be like understanding compression and EQ and production structures beneficial for everyone, right? But I think it might be nice, like if you have rap stuff you're working on, you have some worship stuff you're working on, you have some cinematic things, some metal, right? You have your hands in a lot of different pots. I don't know if that's a term. You got your hands in a lot of pots, right? And so it could be beneficial to compartmentalize some consultations to focus on a couple songs in each genre to really like lock in how you approach the production on those. Just an idea. Okay, hold on 1 second. We'll get some things. I love singing and music, but I can't write lyrics. Lyrics to me are some of the fun, it's the most complex, one of the most complex sides of the song creation and production process and stuff. But it also, to me, is one of the most enjoyable. I love writing tools. I love object writing. I love peripheral point writing, stuff like that. It's really really cool. So I would love to post more about songwriting. I don't a ton, even though that's one of like the things that I do the most, that I've collaborated the most on, that I've done work in, as a session songwriter or like small publishing deals with boutique labels and stuff like that. It's really really fun for me, and I love the tools surrounding it. But I don't really talk about it a whole lot because most people want to. Most people want to talk about how they can improve their mix. They want to talk about how to make their beat hit harder and like things like that. And so it would be fun to do. It would be fun to do more that is kind of surrounding the songwriting sphere because I do enjoy it quite a bit. Thank y'all so much for the shares. I appreciate it. There's a bit of sound. How I got back on nothing more. I got music. The views are pretty low. There's a lot of nuance to that, Blaze. Because that looks very different for everyone. I don't want to give you like a cliche answer, but it's like that's just is going to look different for everyone. For one person, it's going to be them sitting in their car singing, and it's going to get 20 million views. For someone else, it's going to be a hyper produced 4K music video that's so creative that everyone follows. For someone else, it's going to be them sitting there talking about their trauma and leading to the fact that it's a song that they wrote because of some heartbreak in their family and like whatever, you know what I mean? Like it's so nuanced and so specific, but the through line for all of that is authenticity for every artist. Like if you do well with highly produced content, then highly produce content, right? If you do well just storytelling and talking and speaking your mind about whatever it may be, like cultural impacts, social issues, like things that have happened in your life, relational issues, whatever, then speak on it and use your music as the carrier for that content. If you are a great musician and it benefits you to be able to like showcase your skills live by playing acoustic guitar, electric guitar, drum, synths, whatever, then showcase that and let your music be the carry of it. Thank you so much, Synth Collective. I appreciate the love and appreciate you hopping in. But the through line of all of that, right? And we've seen people be very successful in all of these different versions of content. But the through line is they are understanding themselves. They're understanding their own story. They're understanding their own skills when it comes to entertainment and their own skills. This is an entertainment industry. Their own skills with their own craft and their art. And then publicizing it, and it's as simple as that, kind of, you know what I mean? And so, but I think where people get hung up is trying to force themselves into another mold. They're like, well, Connor Price did skits. If I don't do skits, then I'm never gonna make it or something like that. But there's also like 100,000 other people that make a living in music off of streams and merch and other like collective industries. Just by being authentic in what they're doing. And sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes it happens in 2 weeks. Like you just never know. But the answer to your question is extremely nuanced. And it all comes back down to you being authentic and people relating to whatever is authentic to you. For some people, that's like brash and comedic and it's whatever. For other people, it's like serious and dark and aesthetic and moody. And it's just going to be different for everybody. Very, very different. The hard thing about this industry, man, it's hard to break in out because everyone can, and in my opinion, and everyone can because, in my opinion, because of social media, the performing industry is more oversaturated. It's oversaturated with access, but not with you, right? And so the fact that within the last like year, we've seen so many artists still pop off. I mean, streaming's been around for you. Like nobody can use like the social media excuse anymore. No one can use the social media has been saturated for a decade at this point. You know what I mean? Like it's been around. In fact, we're kind of in late stage social media in some aspects where like the only way that people can get attention is to rage bait, to have like fake social media stuff, like to make you mad in order to comment on stuff. Like we're already like late stage social media. So like the social media side, it's been saturated. After 4 years in Instagram popping off, it's been saturated. Streaming has been around for a decade plus, right? Like it's been saturated. What's not saturated is you. So I think a lot of times, and I'm speaking more broadly than just to you, Cass. Obviously, I'm just going off the comment. But when people talk about saturation in the industry, they're to me kind of obviously talking about it because they would be doing something that everyone else is doing, and so it's like, well, yeah, if you are just trying to be the next Taylor Swift, then yeah, it's saturated with a bunch of people trying to be the next Taylor Swift. But if you're like literally authentically you and your own sound design and your own creative expression and your own story, your own perspective, your own version of morphing lyrics, and then the context of that with your life experience and the way that you express it, your personal charisma, how you present yourself on camera, your style, all of that stuff, your confidence, whatever it may be, or even your shyness and how that relates to people when it comes to you being creative and talented as a musician or vocalist, whatever. All of those things are not saturated because they are the makeup of you and there's only one of you, right? But I think when people talk about saturation, there's a lot of music out there. There's a lot of music. It's everywhere, right? There's a million songs put on Spotify every week. It's insane. It's like absolutely unbelievable the amount of volume. But you also have to understand that I don't know that I'm going to make up a number right here. It's not the right number, but what I know is that it's a staggering number. So read through the BS here, but it's like something that like 80% or 90% of like all of those songs that are put on Spotify never get past like 100 streams or like 1,000 streams. So we think it's saturated. Like we think there's a lot of noise out there, but the vast majority of things that are put out there, the vast majority, which is some of us, let's be honest, the vast majority of people that are releasing their art are never actually seeing the time of day for you to even be able to experience that saturation. You know what I mean? And so I think if you're authentic, if you can create a platform for yourself, if you can build a fan base based on your own charisma, your own skill, and your own stylistic preferences, not trying to be anyone else, then there's a place for you. And it might take some work. It might take some honing your skills. You might need to get, good at your marketing and promotion. You might need to hone your skills as a musician and a songwriter. Like it takes work and it should. If you want to make it in any industry, you need to hone some skills. That's anything. That's not just music. That's any job that you have out there. If you want to make more money, you got to be more skilled and more valuable to the industry that you're in. But anyways, I think just anytime I hear the saturation thing, it always kind of brings up this feeling of like there's too many of me out there. Well, then that's the problem right there. That's kind of the rumbling problem, is that there's too many people trying to do the exact same thing as opposed to people being authentic. And again, I'm speaking more broadly than your comment, but I think it's important for everyone to know that it's like, yeah, if everyone wants to be Juice WRLD, then it's saturated. If everyone wants to be Beyonce, then yeah, it's saturated. But if you look, you can like look at like the charts right now. You look at like the 200 on the charts, and yes, there's some stylistic similarities. There's some of the same engineers, same producers. Some obviously there's always going to be stylistic similarities between things that are at the top of the charts. But you'll see a pretty broad look at what can possibly make it in the music industry, and it's pretty impressive across genres, across ages, across looks and aesthetics. you'll see a pretty broad spectrum, and I hope that's encouraging to a lot of people that are. I mean, it's pretty interesting. You think us artists have ourselves feel like we have to? Yeah, and I think that is why. Sorry, reading your thing, Cass. Um, is that is the very concept that keeps people from making it. And so it's funny because it's the same fear of what is going to happen that keeps that thing from ever happening. It's like, I think I need to be like everyone else in order to make it. So you try to be like everyone else and then you never make it because that thing already existed. And it's a cycle. Trust me, I listen to so much music. I see so many artists. We've worked with so many people. I even just in my career as an engineer, I've mixed so many songs that all sound the same, and I have the same stylistic influences very, very closely to the artists that they're influenced by or that they're emulating. And I see it over and over and over again of people just being like, "Well, it works, so let me try it." And sometimes you'll get like two or three clone-ish people that kind of make it. Like you'll have the person that's at the top that started something, and then you'll have like a couple people that get kind of close. Like this person gets 100 million streams, and then you'll get a couple people that get maybe 12, 8, something like that. And then the rest is just a bunch of clones. And then that exact fear of thinking like, man, if I just be what everyone else is, then I'll make it just like they did, is the exact thing that will keep you from actually like getting anywhere, because there's no authentic, and you can feel it. There's no authenticity to it. Like things just feel like fake. They feel copied. Nothing like the stories don't even feel real. Like the lyrics don't feel creative or authentic. And I think that's important for artists to hear, because otherwise, man, you get just fucking locked into your own hamster wheel of creativity, and then you never go anywhere, and then you're mad. We're creating a real community for synth and keys players. Let's go, synth. Tell me about it, synth. What are y'all doing? What does that look like? And I'm gonna go ahead. Thank y'all so much for the likes and shares. I appreciate y'all a lot. We're gonna get things moving here in just a bit. As someone who loves, I wish I had my studio set up. I'm very excited to. Right now we're in this like crazy move process, but I think in the next probably couple weeks or the next month or so, I'll finally be able to get my studio set up again, which will be fun. I'll be able to get all my my synths set up again. Speaking of, Destina, thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. I'm really glad. I mean, hence the name of the live track talk. But sometimes I just like to rant on stuff. But I am very glad. I'm very glad that it was somewhat encouraging to someone. Let's get into some music here. Again, it's gonna be short and sweet today. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time here. I've got a bunch of other stuff I've got to do today, and just production projects, some a mix I need to get out, a bunch of other stuff. So it's gonna be short and sweet. We're not gonna do our normal long, live stream a couple times a week today. It's gonna be a bit slim. Hey, thank you so much. Sorry, I'm like for whatever reason on OBS, the titles of stuff, or like the names are like covering some of the words. I gotta make some adjustments to it. Shout out to Joseph, man. I appreciate you. I was like, to be honest, it is a little hot in here. It's like, to be honest, I probably should. Okay, y'all. Let's get into some quick music. If you would like to submit some songs, again, it's gonna be short and sweet today. Maybe 6 songs. It's gonna be pretty quick. And thank you so much for the follow, Cass. I really appreciate that. If you would like to send in a song for a long form consultation, go to my link tree, click on Track Talk Submission, read through and follow the steps. But please check the line on Twitch first. That way you can see the orders, the minimums, things like that. We're just getting things flowing, and it's gonna be slim today, so I'm not too worried about it. Again, I'm just kind of showing face a bit here, but I want to get through some songs if we can. So we're going to kick it off today with Derek. And let me just get this updated here, and then let's kick it off. Yeah, but if you do want to submit, go to my link tree, click on Track Talk Submission, just read through and follow the steps. Check minimums on Twitch or YouTube. If you're on the purple app, then you can always hit exclamation point submit, exclamation point for everything. You can join the Patreon there, which we have a ton of content over there now. That every week we're doing at least a piece of content every week that goes to the Patreon, just having to do with all kinds of different things, whether it's vocal tracking, production, mixing and mastering, songwriting. We're talking about social platforms, talking about merch, like so many aspects of the creative journey that we want to address over there and give y'all as much depth as possible. So if you haven't already, definitely make sure we have something in the free right now, but most things are on our tiers over there. So go check it out. But there is a lot of platform that I think would be interesting for a lot of people. All right, let's get into Derek's song and Joseph, I appreciate you hopping in. And let me update here. Give me 2 seconds. Let's get this Dropbox. All right. My production cinematic album Unmixed. This is my rough mix. Okay, so I don't think I've heard this before. I think this is fresh. This is The Dark by Derek Bennett. Let's get into it. It's a website, online community, and podcast, an online radio station initially for synthesists and keyboardists and pianists. I love that. Fantastic. Featuring Mangus. Okay, awesome. That's the vocal we heard, I think, a couple weeks ago, right? Let's get into it, man. I'm excited.
Running out, running away. Rebellion strong, fear and anger.
Yeah, I like his voice a lot.
Throw me out in the great unknown. Let it swallow me down, down, down. Down, fall to the deep unknown. Down where the demons roam so careless and afraid. Release me from the dark. Release me from the dark.
Love that rasp, man.
Release me from the dark.
What's up, man?
Release me from the dark. Loving into these dark.
Love the tremolo on the strings.
Transform my mind.
Thank you so much, son. Appreciate you.
Out to heaven. Release me from my prison. Release me from the dark. 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 Release me from the dark.
Yeah, really nice. That tremolo's really nice. Labs, baby. Love hearing some of that feedback in there too. I don't mind the simplicity though, Derek. I think the simplicity works really well as long as you can maintain energy and like the song supports what's happening in the lyrics. I don't mind for a second a more like acoustic, organic sound, especially if it's filled out the way that you have it. So y'all show some love to Derek Bennett. Let's get straight into it. I think if there was like one like production introduction that I think could be beneficial to the structure of what you have there, I think it would be some brass. It's got a really, really cool sound to it. So I'll play something so you can kind of hear what we're talking about. It's A minor, right? So release me from the yeah, A minor. So let's run it from the top. Let's get into some of the details here. and I'll play some brass from a free plugin. So if you want the BBC Orchestra one, I think you have. But the BBC Orchestra is super, it's free. It has a lot of options for it. So I'll pull that up. That way, if you need something like that, you know that you can get it for free. You don't have to pay a bunch of money for something. And I'll show you kind of, I think, where it's good stuff. And Labs is amazing. The fact that Labs offers like 100 gigs of free sounds is like insane. I have Labs too, and they're phenomenal. I mean, I love Spitfire's interfaces. They're really nice, but Labs is pretty fantastic. All right, let's run it from the top. I think what would be good, you do a great job. Okay, nice. Perfect. I love that. You do a great job of building out the energy contrast between your verses and your hook. I think that's amazing. What's up, Jenna? Appreciate you hopping in. So you have this really simplistic kind of percussion, tremolo, piano, low, and then building that up in the verse. But I think what could really warm up the mid of this track would be building out the hook a little bit more with some layers that maybe don't exist in the verses. Let's see. Love like the feedback, the resonance sweeps there. It's nice, man. Fear and anger. Throw me out in the great unknown. Let it swallow me down, down, down. Down, down, farther to the deep unknown. Down where the demons roam so careless and free. Release me from the dark. Release me from the dark. So even just having kind of a just that like mid resonance right there, like that mid push with like a little bit of growl to me, just when you go into especially like a second, maybe you slowly introduce some stuff like sometimes what I'll do is like as simple as like adding more octaves and more splits of something. So like if you're starting like first verse could be very like quiet, simple. I'm sorry, first hook, and then build out the layers. And you can like have one hook that's just one octave or like one like root note that you have, and a second hook where you build out the layers, and it allows the song to kind of swell a little bit more as it goes without really adding a ton of new information to the mix, right? It's not like, well, now we need 17 other string tracks, which can do. It works. Yeah. It can absolutely work if you want to add that much volume to it. But in some cases, it can be as simple as adding one note that kind of warms up the mid, gives it a little bit of like attack and growl. It's like a slow attack. You get that little energy right there, and then add more layers as you go to the top. Just as an example, you could do this with synths. You could do this with horns. You could do this with electric guitars, where you have one that's a low strum that's kind of down here. It's like a low like lead, like overdriven lead electric sound, kind of two broken overdriven sound at the bottom, and at the top you have like the high C that kind of falls over, right? But there's so many ways to go about this. But the idea is distinguishing your hook even more and making sure that it's punchy with your stabs. You have that staccato, you have that energy in there, but you also have some like glue and movement underneath it, so you get that combination. Builds up here. So start just one note. Release me from the dark. Release me from the dark. And then up. Release me from the dark. Release me from the dark. Hear how the combination of starting here and then going to the adding that little was like my the cord of my headphones was keeping a note down. I was like, what the hell's going on? But it's that idea, right? And there's so many different brass tones that you could have. This is, in this case, this is like a low tuba, right? There's so many different ways, or trombone. There's so many different ways that you could do this, but I think it's that kind of idea. And then you let off, add a couple layers, keep it simple. I mean, that's what's beautiful about orchestral stuff, is you can always go more crazy. There's like so many movements you can do to fill it out, and then empty out for the verses. Build this up all the way out. That way you get this massive dynamic range, especially once it's balanced.
Transform my mind. I cry out.
And I can switch this to staccato for verses. There's different ways you can throw stuff out, but get the idea. And then start with the octave. Here now it's kind of missing. Now it's kind of missing just a little bit of like that mid presence. It's missing a little bit of kind of that modulation of having multiple instruments. Like in this case, this is a stack of 8 different trombones and stuff like that. Thank you, Synth Collective. I appreciate you so much. It's a stack of multiple instruments. So you're getting that chorusing. You're getting some of that vibrancy and that modulation that makes orchestral sound so beautiful. It makes a stack of strings, even if they're doing the same thing, feel so massive, because it's not linear, right? It's not, they're not hitting the exact same note. There's some modulation and pitch and timing between all these different layers that makes it so interesting to listen to and so massive sounding. It's like having 6 oscillators on a synth. It's you detune a little bit this way and you add some LFO. Like it's that texture, right, that makes these sounds so massive. And so I think it's a good addition, at least specifically to your hook. You can always pull away. You can always automate, which I would. Automate, how much intensity there is behind these things. Maybe like A section of your verse, or I'm sorry, A section of your hook, it's a little simpler. It's a root note and that's it. And then maybe B section, you automate your velocities forward. You like on your on the plugin itself, like on Labs, automate your dynamic range forward. The intensity of the technique that's being used, you automate forward. Then you add the layer over the top, and this sound just grows, but it feels real. It doesn't feel like a cheesy brass sample on like a cheap orchestral production. It feels like a real moving organism, which is what orchestral cinematic scoring should feel like. Should feel like there's some ebbs and flows. It should feel like there's some real alive energy behind what you're doing on the production side. I think oftentimes, and you're not a testament to this, but oftentimes people try to start making orchestral pieces and things are very sterile and very rigid. And so much of the life around, especially VST based orchestral productions and scoring and stuff like that, is your ability to hear what needs to be there and automate accordingly, the way that a real instrument would. It's like we were talking the other day about VST drums, and one of like the worst things in metal is people that don't understand drums at all programming VST drums and doing stuff that a drummer could never possibly do, and it just doesn't connect. Everything's at 127 velocity and that's it, right? The ability to build in and bake in nuance into your production structure is what makes a good digitally based, if you're not hiring session musicians, a digitally based orchestral production so powerful. And I try to do a lot of the same things with synthesis as well. Like when I have all my synths and stuff like that, of like automating like your filters and automating your noise and LFOs and your modulation and stuff like that to make it feel like it moves and it ebbs and it flows and it breathes. So that'd be my biggest recommendation for a song like this. What's up, Blue Icy? What's up, Rocky? What's up, Dish? I appreciate you a lot. And there's some brass in there. I hear it. So it's just kind of amplifying that. dynamic range just like you have in there. I love a lot of what you have in here already. So same here. So let me give a quick example. Let me see what, so I do have some violin here. Let's, so I would do kind of the same thing. So let's go a little, these are a little bit brighter here, and I'll go with the tremolo here. If you can see on Twitch, if you're over there. Same thing with like and I know it's not mixed, so I'm just giving you something to kind of keep in your ear as you get deeper into this project. Same thing with those tremolos. If it's kind of here, the sound is cool, what's happening is cool, but it loses a little bit of the life as opposed to it having. And having like just like a little, and again, that baked into a production without me having to automate it automatically at the same time. It just gives something so much more. Like we've talked about this when working with, I'll go with like a legato. Let me switch this up just to give one final example. We've talked about this a lot, but I'm going to switch it to the intimate strings because that's one of my favorites. Because they'd have a really, really nice legato that I love. Here we go. Hey, I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much for the love. So just kind of in the same vein, I'm going to go a little bit lower here. Little bit, and I'm trying to like use my modulation wheel here to automate that real time, but like just that little bit of ebb and flow, that little bit of movement, little bit of automation adds so much reality to the strings and stuff like that it just sounds so much more realistic, right? As opposed to it just being rigid, same velocity, and trying to like play softer, play louder because it's the hook, and just jam everything that way. It just allows things to feel way more natural and way more real. I mean, now this sounds, especially baked into a production, if I had 6 of these tracks and I didn't have to play everything and could just isolate some of those parts with like a cello and some violas and some extra layers, maybe some low growly Jupiter bass synth stuff at the bottom, like you can really build out like a powerful cinematic production. Hey, thank you so Van hopping over to be able to say what he wants to say on Twitch. I appreciate you so much, man. It just makes things so much more realistic and so much more dynamic, which of course that's the goal. We don't want this to feel digital and rigid and VST, right? But y'all show some love. Thank you so much, Jenna. I really appreciate it. Show some love to Testament Worship. I'm not Testament. I'm used to whatever profile hops on here. Show some love to Derek Bennett. This is a Derek Bennett production. This is not for Testament. This is a Derek Bennett production. So show some love to the family. I have seen you really come into your own with your production, man. It's wildly impressive, and I look forward to being even more a part of that journey for you. You're awesome, man. We love you so much. I appreciate you for sending this in. I'm really liking this vein of cinematics for you. I mean, you and Retrack both have really like locked into the cinematic vein, and it makes me so happy because it's such a blast to hear. It is such a blast to hear, man. So y'all show some love. If anyone else would like to submit, otherwise we'll close up early. If you would like to submit, go to my link tree, click on Track Talk Submission, read through and follow all of the steps. And then just if you want to kind of see where we're at or the full platform, of course, you can do that over on Twitch as well, where you can kind of see everything that's going on. Otherwise, I'll give it a second. Otherwise, I'll start working on some of my other stuff, and then we'll move on. Of course, man. Anytime. Yeah, we'll be live tomorrow with Libby too. Hey, you as well, man. Appreciate you so much. Now you got me in the cinematic mood. It's a retrack. What's up, Bronson? Oops. That's nice for a couple of audio talks and IELTS are working on. You just go for it. Dude, I love this stuff. I haven't released a lot of cinematic stuff just because it takes so much time to orchestrate and mix and stuff like that. But I do love orchestral music. It's I've had people in my family that played for symphonies and have a master's degree in music theory and have I've kind of been in that world a little bit, and it is one of my favorite things. I've released one song, Ad Meliora, which is a cinematic score, but that's it. But I love the cinematic space. There's something about it that to me is just so inviting. I think it's honestly one of the reasons why I like synthesis as well is because it feels similar to me. Like for me, like building a string, like having even just like something here, like a half section that's like 6 string players playing at the same time, to me is a similar vein of having like oscillators on a synth and having different textures and chorusing and stuff like that, which I just love, especially when you have good sounds. Like, and these are not even, this is not this is like $30 too. This is not even expensive. One of my favorites though, and then if we don't get anything in here in a moment, then we'll move on pretty quick. Let me just check something real quick. But if y'all do want to submit, of course, yeah, feel free to send it in. Otherwise, I'm going to hop off and work on some other stuff quickly. That way I can accomplish a bit more today. But one of my favorites, let me see. If you're on Twitch, you can see. I'll pull it up. It's in Contact, I believe. And it's an Ambertone Audio cello, I think. I think it's Ambertone Audio. Oh, no, Ambertone might have been where I got the Steinway. This one actually might be Spitfire as well. Yeah, it is Spitfire. And this is like one of my favorite cello plugins in the world. It is absolutely gorgeous sounding. That legato Come on, like that built into a plugin. Goodness gracious. It's like so like how could I do this real quick? Let's it's so fun. Let me just so I can give like an example of it just to have some fun for a second and then I'll probably just hop off if we don't get anyone else. Just cuz I'll go other things I got to do. Let's do this. Let's just have fun for just a wee moment and then we'll do our thing. So, let's do like a half section and let's automate this. So, I'll just like just for the sake of tracking something super simple. Pete James, what's up? Welcome in. Let's do this. Mm-hmm. And just for the fun, just for having fun. Yeah, it's so fun. I like it. I like it a lot. And just for the sake of just having. What's up, Rachel? Just for the sake of having some fun. It's just like I just love it. What's up, Never Careless? That is like such a fantastic sounding cello. Just slow down that vibrato a little bit. Hold up. Hold up. slightly less dynamic. So fun. All right. I think that's going to call it today. All right. Let's get out of here. Short and sweet today, y'all. All right. We're going to get out of here. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all so much. I made a bad mistake. We will be on tomorrow back with Libby. We'll be back on with Libby tomorrow. Let me see this real quick. Love it. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all so much. We'll be back tomorrow. Y'all have an amazing rest of your day. I'm going to get back to the too many things that I have to work on outside of this. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. See y'all soon. Peace.